Hello, everyone. Welcome to this year's Ignite Talk. TED is a club where students explore, research, and present their ideas in the form of short TED-style talks. The Ignite Talk is a short presentation on the topic the students are currently planning to make as their talk. We hope you enjoy listening to this year's TED Talk ideas, and we're looking forward to see you for the actual TED Talks. The first speaker will now talk about our unpreparedness for hard work.
Hi, everyone. So the theme of my TED Talk will be about hard work, but more specifically about how the system in which we live our lives has significant flaws when it comes to the development of hard workers. And I'll try to build the argument that because we live our lives with plenty of resources and because we often rely on other people to direct us to the right path, it becomes hard for us to be hardworking. And likewise, living a less resourceful life can make us more hardworking. And our next speaker is going to talk about hiding and refusing to acknowledge our identities.
What happens when you're told not to speak your mother tongue in public? Or what happens when you try so hard to admit that you are not yourself? Sometimes we try to hide ourselves, but is it because the society don't accept us? Or is it because we find difficulties trying to accept ourselves? My TED Talk this year will be about trying to hide or sometimes refusing to admit our own identities. As a person who's considered a foreigner in most places I go, I would be lying if I say that I have never felt shameful of where I came from. However, the society might tell us to erase our cultural identifications, the surrounding might tell us to behave in a contrasting way, but in the end, I am who I am. Our next speaker will be talking about cultural assimilation.
When a minority group tries to conform to the majority group's culture, it is known as cultural assimilation. While cultural assimilation is not a bad thing, it is significant to realize that the minority group that is conforming to these norms of the majority group may lose aspects of their own culture. Moreover, they may even feel completely ostracized from the society if they fail to assimilate. This is common among immigrants, which is what the picture is referring to. As a person who grew up in a culture different from my own, I would like to dive deeper into the positives and negatives of cultural assimilation. Thank you. Our next speaker will be talking about living minimal and the importance of a conscious life.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever had a situation where you looked around your room or your house and wondered, why does my space feel so packed and crammed? Well, those are the effects of our daily purchasing habits. In a capitalistic society, in our mindset of being materialistic and wanting to buy more, it is difficult for us to resist the temptation to buy more things in our lives. So in my talk, I'll be discussing about the importance of living a minimalistic lifestyle and learning how to live a conscious life, which we will learn that it will impact our environment and the daily habits in our lives. So our next speaker will talk about, I feel you, but can we really?
I feel you, but can we really? I think this is a phrase that a lot of people have used to their friends or families at least one time in their life, or something that other people have told you. But can we really? Through my talk, I hope to explore if we can truly feel how others feel, and I hope to do this by sharing some of the amazing experiences I had this year. The next talk will be on A Reader Lives 1,000 Lives Before He Dies.
A book to me is not just a book, but a gateway to a world unexplored. My mind leaves my body and makes new friends and gains new knowledge. I feel like not many of our generation have that same appreciation and excitement towards a book as I have. In my talk, I want to be able to make you guys pick up a new book and explore. Like George R. R. Martin once said, a reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. The next talk will be about if people should think outside the box, why is the box always imposed on to us?
So we all know that, we've all heard that we should think outside the box. It is something that teachers constantly tell us. But when you really think about it, if you step back, you realize that it is really the school system that is imposing said box onto us. Historically, school was a place to educate people for change, but this has slowly been changing into a place to educate people to think exactly how this system wants to force us into a bit of a box. And while this is great for the modern times, is it really good for the future if we don't have these entrepreneurs and if we don't have these pioneers that are necessary for innovation? Thank you. Our next speaker will talk about how much does our nationality really define us.
What does your nationality mean to you? Is it an important aspect that we should talk about first when talking to other people? Or is it something that doesn't matter? Should we let nationalities really define who we are? Being in an international school, we have a lot of people who can speak fluently in a different language that's not their own home countries, or they have adapted to a foreign culture. But the questions we are usually asked are, but you're not from that country, or are you half? These questions have led me to ask the statement of whether or not the role of nationality is really that important when defining people. The next talk we'll be talking about, should we feel guilty for expressing ourselves?
Hello, everyone. My TED Talk will be focusing on eco-guilt and the pressure to take sustainable actions. I would be discussing about how directing climate change solutions on an individual can be both empowering as well as a source of pressure. I would also like to share my experience with eco-guilt regarding fast fashion and how, although we should strive to take more environmentally conscious decisions, it should not take away from us being able to express ourselves freely through what we wear. The next speaker will be talking about playing a role in a patriarchal society and the power of choice.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to be talking about women being empowered in a patriarchal society and the challenges that are involved with them. As women, we fight for our rights quite often. And how laws are created to diminish them. We're all created equal, so why create a gap? Our next talk is going to be about the annoying procrastination monkey in your head.
I will be talking about procrastination for my TED Talk. I have chosen this topic because I personally struggle with this issue, and I know many people also struggle with procrastination. I think this is important because procrastinating can stop us from doing things that we should do, and we end up staying up late to do assignments or not getting to things we want to do. For our next speaker will be talking about, do we really think about why we're thankful when we say thank you? In my TED Talk, I'll be talking about the importance of finding meaning in showing our appreciation and gratitude to others. And this is important to me because I personally think that showing appreciation and gratitude can also be a sign of respect and can improve our relationship with others. Our next speaker will talk about the school-life balance and its importance.
My TED Talk is going to be about the importance of school-life balance and how it can affect us. And I think this is an important topic because I often struggle finding this balance, and I would like to explore different ways you can achieve a good school-life balance. And our next speaker will be talking about taking the first step.
Taking the first step is often one of the hardest things to do. The ideas are in your own mind, but sometimes there are actually no proof or evidence that it can be achievable. And which makes us vulnerable and vulnerable to self-doubt and fear. And and which would turn those ideas making us think that it will never be possible or it will never happen, and which is why taking the first step is very important. And because taking the first step, it marks the decision, and it declares that you'll move forward through those fears and self-doubts that you have within you, and which is something that I've learned and experienced through taking my first step in singing on stage, despite my shy and quiet personality. And our next speaker will talk about the importance of our names.
My TED Talk idea for this year is about the importance of our names. As someone whose name is often seen as unusual, I've had many people mispronounce my name or make jokes about it, but I also had instances where people openly refused to learn how to pronounce my name or try to avoid having to tell my name. All of these experiences led to me disliking my name, thinking of it as a problem. However, as I grew up, I met people with similar experiences to mine, whether it's online or in real life, and I realized that my name was not the problem, and its beauty should not be defined by how other people react to it. Names have meanings, stories, and cultural significance, and I want to remind people about the importance of loving their name and making sure that their name is respected by others as well. Now the co-leader of the club will conclude the Ignite talk.
We have now come to the end of our Ignite talk this year. I hope that all of you on the other side of this screen enjoyed listening to our TED Talk ideas. The TED event will be held in spring 2022, and so if any of you are interested, please come watch. First, I would like to say thank you to the maintenance team for setting up this room. And secondly, I would like to thank all of you for watching today and for taking your time to listen to our ideas. I hope to see you at the TED event, and have a good day. Bye.